And in my opinion, it makes sense to form a relationship with the land and local spirits. Not only so that we can ask them for favors, so that we can, for example, ask them for help with spell work or with anything like that, but also in general because they are the spirits that we are usually most connected to because we are living on their land. So for example, we are living in a city or a village that a local spirit has like the guardianship of, or we are living next to a cemetery where a cemetery spirit lives, or we are living maybe in a forest where a land spirit kind of has reign over the forest. Let's just call it that. So we are living in direct community with those spirits. So having a relationship with them not only makes sense to kind of get something out of it, but in general, it's kind of like having a relationship with your neighbors. It's a community question. That being said, I am personally not a fan of thinking about, okay, I want to do something, I need the help of a graveyard spirit, so let's just go to a graveyard that I've never been to. I have never met the spirit of that graveyard. Let's just go there and ask them what should go wrong. I'm not necessarily a fan of that. I am a fan of building a relationship first, knowing the spirits that are inhabiting the area around you, and then later on, when you have already established a relationship with them, then you can ask them for favors. But it doesn't work the other way around. It's the same thing with your neighbors. You don't go to your next door neighbor and ask them to watch your cats when you're gone on holiday if you've never even met them before. So I don't really differentiate there between humans and spirits. It's exactly the same principle. You probably want to establish some kind of relationship, some kind of friendship with a neighbor first before you ask them for a favor. And it's exactly the same thing with spirits. That being said, how can we do that? How can we form a relationship with land and local spirits? So as I already said in the last video, in part 1 in this mini series, land and local spirits are very tied to the physical realm because they are literally tied to a place. So they are of course very concerned with that place in question. So if you want to form a relationship with a forest spirit or with a graveyard spirit, well, you have to go there. You can't sit in your comfy living room and connect with a forest spirit. Maybe it would work if that house is in the forest, but if it isn't, you definitely have to go out and into the area that they are inhabiting and that they are watching over. And you also have to show some concern with the land that they are inhabiting. So these spirits are very concerned of like keeping the place that they're inhabiting nice and healthy and living and clean. And you should show the same concern. A local spirit that's very much concerned with the area that they're inhabiting, guarding over that area, protecting that area, that spirit will not necessarily like you if you go there and litter, for example. That is the most foundational thing that you should do if you want to form a relationship with a local or a land spirit. The way I usually start out a relationship with a land or a local spirit is, first of all, I go to the place where that spirit lives. Hello, Scotty. And then I will quickly just introduce myself, just simply say, okay, I'm here, hi, my name